There's one specific thumbnail format that has been crushing it for years, and it is so simple. It is the thumbnail format that I recommend to every beginner YouTuber. So if you are lost, you're not sure what thumbnail format should I use, what thumbnail should I even start with, this video is for you, because I'm going to reveal the exact format, exactly why it works, and how you can create that thumbnail for yourself here today. So the specific format that I'm talking about is a talking head on the left or on the right, and simply text. Over here, all of these thumbnails have this exact same format, and it's been crushing on YouTube, and it's one of the easiest thumbnails to make. So you can see over here, this thumbnail, face on the left, I'm truly sorry. Face on the right, text, and an arrow. Person, text, arrow. Person, text, person, text, person, text, person, text, with a couple of different variations, which is like the background or the colors of the text or the size of the text. But this is by far the simplest format that you can replicate with literally any channel, even if you are running a faceless channel, because you can add a person onto the thumbnail, which can add credibility, and you don't even need people inside of the thumbnail, right? You can see over here, one of the biggest channels over here, which is Diary of a CEO, literally popularized this specific format, because you can see that it's literally two people in the text, because there's two people, because it's a podcast format. If it was just one person talking in this specific video, then it would be this specific format too. And the reason that it works is that it's dead simple. You only need two elements. You just need a clean face and a few words, right? You don't have any complex compositions, no layering, no design skills that are needed. And you can do this with AI today. All you need is a face swap, right? And a color swap, and you can get 80% of the way there. I'm not exaggerating. I've seen channels who have literally only done this format, for example, Diary of the CEO, and absolutely blown up, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, millions of subscribers. It is that easy. So you can see over here, all you need is a picture of yourself, and this picture, is just a picture that I took in front of my laptop, me looking like I'm explaining something, and it evolves into this, where I can just add the text, right, use this to stand out, and then I highlight a certain part of the text, and then I can swap out the text and swap out the highlight, the color of the highlight, and here, this is Sam, one of my team members, he swaps out the face, right, swaps out the text, or you can swap it out with any famous person as well. And you can do all of this with AI today. You don't need any crazy Photoshop skills, any crazy Canva skills. And this is the thumbnail format that I recommend to any beginner YouTuber. If you're not sure what to go with, literally use this thumbnail format. And I'm going to explain a couple rules that are important to understand whenever you are doing this thumbnail format over here. So in terms of making this, right, you have a couple options, right? You can use our subscriber thumbnail studio. I'll leave a link in the description to test it out, where you can literally press one button and get a thumbnail done like this, where you can clone your thumbnail. Or you can use Gemini, there's Nano Banana Pro, ChatGPT, right? You can find a good thumbnail and you can go in back and forth prompting until it finally clicks, okay? In terms of the main rules that you have to keep in mind when you are doing this thumbnail, number one is you want to keep the text to 2 to 5 words max, right? This thumbnail really works when there is fewer text on the thumbnail. As a good rule of thumb, thumbnails should not be saturated with so much text. If it is saturated with so much text, then the viewer looking at the thumbnail won't even know what they're looking at in the very first place, and the thumbnail won't perform. So as a good rule of thumb, I keep the text on the thumbnail at 2 to 5 words, right? You want to use a high quality face photo, right? You don't need to take the photo of anything crazy. You just need good lighting, and then you can use an iPhone to take the picture and do it with multiple face variations, right? And make sure there's contrast between the person and the background. So for example, if I'm wearing a black shirt, I will want to have a white background behind me. So that's a good rule of thumb. Or if I'm wearing any colored shirt, there should be a certain colored background behind me. So there should be contrast between the person and the background. And in line with the 2 to 5 words, the text should be readable at mobile size. So the text should occupy around 60% of the thumbnail, where you can kind of see that it is very big. It is in bold font, right? And it occupies a good chunk of the thumbnail. And I'm going to have this board linked in the description so that you can go out there and take these thumbnails and create these thumbnails on your own. And I'm curious to see what you guys come up with this, right? And once again, this is the simplest thumbnail format out there, and it's used across all of these different niches, across all of these different channels, whether it's face on or faceless. Try this format out. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one.